Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing on with our Swift programming tutorial series, and in this tutorial we are going to be looking at the warning compiler directive. Now what does this do? Well, the warning compiler directive, when used, generates a warning in Xcode. This is generally used in place of to-do comments by developers, because warning allows you to essentially more effectively remind yourself about anything you need to refactor or anything that needs to change, stuff like that. That is in contrast to the error compiler directive, which we'll take a look at in the next video. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can use the warning compiler directive. So in Xcode, let's say we have a function called calculate average, and this takes in an array of doubles. And we want this to return a double. Well, we can then say, let's say var sum equals 0, and for value in values, sum plus sum equals sum plus value. Okay, and then we can return sum divided by double values dot count. Okay. Okay, we're going to, you want sum to be a double, like that. Okay, there we go. Now that that's all squared away, we could have done this in a much more efficient way. But let's say we just need this for to get the functionality working, and we can refactor it later. Well, to remind us to refactor it later, we can say hashtag, not at, hashtag warning. Okay. And here we can give it a string inside of parentheses. This string is going to be the warning message that gets displayed in our issue navigator and in our editor. So we're going to say refactor this method to use reduce instead of a for loop to calculate the sum of the values passed in. Okay? And now we can go ahead and go into our little issue explorer, or navigator rather. Okay, so okay, we have some other areas or some other things we need to fix. let's remove one of those. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's... Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. So hashtag warning. And we'll say refactor the sum calculation in this method to use the reduce method instead of a for in loop. Okay. Now, in our editor, you can see we get our little warning. But if we go back to our issue navigator, and we get our warning inside of our issue navigator as well. So now, if you're like me and you cannot stand seeing a warning in your code, you're going to go back and fix it. Now, of course, if we try to build our code, it will still work. We still get a successful build. And that's because the warning compiler directive does not prevent you from building or running your code. It's just simply a mechanism to issue a warning to you as the developer. So that pretty much does it for this video on the warning compiler directive. It's actually a relatively simple way for you to keep tabs on where you need to refactor your code and all that sort of stuff without having to go through all your code and look for a to-do comment. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.